This is the examination of the hidden human condition.
You're listening to the Hidden Killers Podcast.
This is the Hidden Killers Podcast with Tony Bruschi.
That it is. We are taking your calls, your opinions in open lines right now. If you have something you want to say about any of the cases we're following for you, you can do it. 888-5-KILLER, 888-554-5537, the phone number to call and share your opinion on anything from Alex Murdaugh to Bryan Walsh, Kohberger, Ellen Greenberg, Gabby Petito, James Craig, Jared Brightigan, Lori Vallow, Lucy Letby, Stephen Smith. Lots of people that we're talking about here on the program. Stacey Cole with us today on this. Let's jump over to our first phone call. And this is someone who has an interesting theory or observation, if they will, and we're going to go back and see if we can recognize what they're talking about after the phone call. They think there's more to the Alex Murdaugh dog video that really damned him than others have been hearing. Let's take a listen. Hi.
Hey, Tony, it's Lisa from Rockland County. How are you? Yeah, I got to weigh in now. People need to hear this. But first, my heart goes out to the Idaho students, their family, and everybody rocked by that case. That was just awful. Lori Daybell, please, you got to stop talking about her in your little mini podcast because boring story. She was a prophet of nothing. She was a prophet of the devil, like the baby-killing nurse.
Well, I'm going to say we're going to keep talking about her. So sorry if you don't like that. You can always fast forward. But no, it's a big deal right now with her trial going on. We're covering it. We have someone on the ground reporting from the courthouse. So no, we're going to keep covering Lori Daybell. Continue on, though.
They're both prophets of the devil. And let me tell you something. Alex Murdaugh, only prophet is he profited from his friends and his family that he stole from. Don't know what's up with the killing, but I will say this. They didn't deserve to die. Paul, Timmy, yeah, asshole kind of guy. But you know what? He didn't deserve to die with his brains being blown out by his dad or someone close to his dad. Now, we've all listened to that Snapchat video for 1 minute with the dogs in the kennel. I was listening to it one night, not watching it, just with my earphones. So, we all know it starts with, cash, quit it, cash. And then you hear some talking in the background. Now, we all know Paul was right on top of his phone trying to get Cash's attention. Maggie was, let's say, in the middle of Paul and Alex was the furthest away. So you hear, cash, quit it, and some rumbling. Then you hear Maggie scream about the dog has a bird. And then you hear Paul say, it's a chicken. Also, listen right after Paul says it's a chicken, because you hear another voice, who I don't believe is Alex, another male voice that says, it's a chicken. Then you hear Alex scream, Bubba, come here, Bubba. And then right after he says that twice, you hear another softer spoken gentleman say, come here, Bubba. And also, when Maggie calls out for that bird, to me, it sounds a lot like she says, Eddie, he's got a bird. Have a great day, guys. Make it great. Make it good for somebody else, too. Pay it forward. Love the podcast, and I will be a return caller. Thanks.
Okay, let's take a listen to that video and see if we can pick up what she's talking about. And I get it where she's like, I'm listening on headphones only, and you can pick up things a little bit different that way, just as you're listening to this podcast. So let's take a listen and see, get your opinion.
Get back.
So that's Paul.
Quit, Cash.
Paul again.
Quit. It's okay.
Paul.
Come here. It's not bad. Come here, Cash. Shit. Come here. Post it. Cash.
Hey, he's got a bird in his mouth.
Okay, so I hear what she says. It sounds like Eddie, he's got a bird in his mouth.
Yeah, that's what it sounds
I
like.
kind of hear that. I also hear, hey, he's got a bird in his mouth. I hear hey, not necessarily Eddie.
Bird in his mouth.
Go back.
Hey, he's got a bird in his mouth.
It's hey.
It's hey with an accent, isn't it? Hey.
Hey, he's got a bird
Hey.
in his mouth.
You know how the hey can turn into 2 syllables instead of 1?
That's what it is. That's and Baba. That's Alec.
Hey, Bubba.
That's Paul.
It's a guinea.
That's Maggie.
It's a guinea, like a guinea hen.
Come here, Cash. Come here, Bubba. Cash. Quit.
I only hear 3 voices. I hear Alec, I hear Paul, and I hear Maggie. There's no third or fourth voice. One of them, there's times where one's talking to the dog in like dog tone. Like,
Well,
hey!
yeah, and people talk to
Yeah.
animals in different tones,
and
you know?
then the tone changes a little bit because of the interaction with the dog. So I get if you're not watching it, I get how one could hear that, but that was never brought up in court as a possibility. I don't hear it. I just think it's, when you get something in your head when you're listening to audio, it's hard to unhear it, even if it's not accurate.
Yeah.
And the same is true of anything. When you're hearing something that's kind of inaudible, whether it be like in the ghost world, there's the EVPs, and one person says, mama loves you. And the other person's like, it's saying that she hates you or whatever. I mean, it's something where it's interesting how our brains interpret things. And once you hear it once and your brain said, this is what it is, it's really hard to hear it the other way.
Yeah, you can't unhear it in your head.
So I don't think there's much to that theory, but I love hearing it. I love that people weighing in, because sometimes things are brought to you and you go, I didn't think of it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we learn. So appreciate the insight and the thoughts on that. And as with anything with this case, nothing surprises me as we keep digging deeper and deeper into it. And I'm not trying to make a pun, because that's literally what's been going on lately with Stephen Smith, the body being exhumed recently, the second autopsy being performed. We'll find out the results of that very soon. And there's a $35,000 reward out for any information leading to information on who killed Stephen Smith right now. So that's continuing to develop. Not saying it's any Murdaughs by any means, but, there's certainly the way that this was all brought back into life with Stephen Smith was something through the Murdaugh trial or through the Murdaugh investigation. Whether that means a Murdaugh was involved is a whole other thing. It could be that there was information, digital information or something of that nature, that pointed to more information on the murder of Stephen Smith, but not even necessarily an individual within that family. It could just be, rumblings or knowledge or, rumors, things. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but there was something enough to dig it back up. I think it's something we'll find out shortly.
Absolutely. And going back to Lori Daybell and that whole thing, like you said, that's getting going now. So definitely have to be talking about that one.
Yeah. I mean, is she a horrible person? I don't think Lori ever professed to be a prophet of anything. It was more Chad that professed to be the prophet and knew certain information. She went along for the ride on a lot of it. But how involved was she with the murders? I don't know. She may have been very involved. Those are things that we are going to find out as that trial continues. And we, of course, have continuing coverage for you right here every single day, courtroom audio once the trial starts. We have our correspondent, Lauren Matthias, from the podcast Hidden True Crime on the ground, reporting for us every single day, giving us updates midway through the day when they break for lunch, and then at the end of the day as well. To hear exactly what's going on in court. As of right now, jury selection still going on, but that should hopefully be wrapping up soon, and we'll be getting into the beef of what that trial is like. It's exciting stuff. But if you have an opinion, insight, anything you want to share about any of the cases, you can do it. The phone number is 888-5-KILLER. That's 888-554-5537.
This is an examination of the hidden human condition.
This is the Hidden Killers podcast
With Tony Bruschi.
We would love to hear from you. Subscribe wherever you download podcasts. Get an ad-free version through Apple Podcasts right now. Even try it for 3 days free. Get access to all of our true crime channels when you sign up there. For Stacy, I'm Tony. Stay with us.